regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, December the 14th, and it is 6:02 p.m. Clerk.
And thank you, Mayor. And just as a procedural note, we are opening up that special meeting, but we'll basically be parking that until after the conclusion of the regular meeting. In addition to here at 8400 Laguna Palms Way at the council chamber, we also have a remote participant in Nuevo Vallarta, as noted in our agenda. But we'll do a little bit of sound checks and make sure we've got everybody on board for that. But I would like to start off with my standard statements, which is that this meeting of the Elk Grove City Council will be replayed on Metro Cable Channel 14 on Friday, December 16th at 1 p.m. and Monday, December 19th at 6 p.m. It is being closed captioned. It'll be webcast at sacmetrocable.tv. City Council meeting videos are also archived on the city's website at elkgrovecity.org. For members of the participating audience who may have personal electronic devices, please place them on silent mode during the meeting or on mute when you are not speaking. Elk Grove City Council welcomes, appreciates, and encourages participation in the City Council meeting. City Council requests that you limit your presentation to 3 minutes per person so that all present will have time to participate. City Council reserves the right to reasonably limit the total time for public comment on any particular noticed agenda item as it may deem necessary. Pursuant to Resolution Number 2010-24, no individual speaker concerning public comment may address the City Council for more than 3 minutes. If you wish to address the Council during the meeting, please complete one of the blue speaker cards, which can be found at the back of the room if you can make it through all the people. Or we also have blue cards up here with Assistant City Clerk Brenda Haggard. And if you could provide those to us before consideration of the particular agenda item. With that, Mayor, we'll be moving towards the roll call. And I'll start out when we have a participant that is in a teleconference environment to the meeting. All of our roll calls and all of our actions when we take votes will be done out loud. And so as we move through these, we'll be doing also some constant sound checks to make sure that our participant, Councilmember Spies, is able to hear us and participate in the process as we're moving forward. What I would like to do is start with the roll call, noting that our District 4 seat is currently vacant. We're planning on making sure that that is amended here under our special action items soon. And then we'll do a sound check out to Mexico and Councilmember Spies. Do we have you present? Oh,
I'm present.
Excellent. I'm just going to crank up the volume a little bit on your side. Councilmember Hume.
Here.
Vice Mayor Suen.
Here.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Here. All right, next up is our Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to invite Councilmember Hume to lead us in the final pledge here at City Hall.
Thank you, Mayor. Please address the flag. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, at this time, we will observe a brief moment of silence, please. Thank you. Next item, please.
That'll take us to our special action item 1A, which is certification of the November 8th, 2022 general municipal election results for officers and reorganization of the Elk Grove City Council. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members, I'm Jason Lindgren, your city clerk. Under this item, we have a series of actions, and the first is going to be certification of the election results that we received from Sacramento County. And then we will proceed through several items. For our audience, if you're a little bit confused about who's sitting up at the front, it is not until we actually certify the results and then say a few farewells that we will then have the oath of office for our new members coming on. And after that, we'll have the selection of the vice mayor. But as I move through, under the action item of 1A, we do have a resolution that we ask the council, the standing council, to take action on. And that resolution has the certificate of facts from the Sacramento County Register of Voters for the November 8th, 2022 general municipal election, which verifies the results of the official canvass conducted by Sacramento County for the City of Elk Grove City Council offices. For the seat of mayor, elected to a full term of office of 2 years, was Bobby Singh Allen. In addition, for city council member seats in districts 2 and 4, those elected as council members for a full term of office of 4 years were Rod Brewer for District 2, And Sergio Robles for District 4. I did want to take a brief note for Measure E, which was passed by the voters in the November election. That was certified at a special meeting that was held last week on December 7th, 2022. But before the council is a resolution verifying the election results for offices, and it's available for your adoption at this time.
All right, thank you for that. At this time, I'll go ahead and open up the public comment opportunity. And I have one speaker. I'd like to call up Ms. Lynn Wheat.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As Councilmember Hume knows, I've attended quite a few number of meetings. I think we've been at the same number of meetings. And so tonight, I just wanted to thank Councilmember Nguyen and Councilmember Hume for your time on this council. Councilmember Nguyen, I wanted to thank you for showing me and others respect when we spoke at the podium. Thank you for giving some of my ideas and vision for our city merit. Councilmember Hume, it was always clear to me that you were the most prepared for each meeting and had thoroughly reviewed your packet and prepared with relevant questions and analysis. Though we were always on the opposite sides of the issues, I want to thank you for challenging me to learn more about land use planning, to learn more about budget, and actually to learn more about myself and my morals, ethics, and values. I had a different vision, but I appreciated that we could have some banter back and forth about all of that. I also want to let you know, when I've had people ask me about our mayors and city council members, I said, though we sit on opposite sides, I believe he is the smartest one up there. Lastly, it is my passion for the city that I've always wanted things much more different. And I brought forth, a couple years ago, I believe, the idea of tiny homes. And I thoroughly researched it and called Austin, where the one community was, and a couple of our council members visited. And the night that I did that, I had kind of put down who I thought might bite and consider looking at that issue. And surprisingly enough, you weren't on my list. And so I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and with the most sincerity that you would meet with me on that issue alone. And I realized it was a political hot potato because we both got a lot of flack and couldn't go anywhere with it. I also want to thank you because I also envisioned us having a big, huge preserve on 230 acres. And you told me, let's do it, find the money. Well, I also learned more about politics and it was very difficult to come by that money. It saddens me that my vision isn't occurring, but you were also very honest with me when at one night you finally said, look, it's going to be more of the same, rooftops and retail. So I thank you very much for keeping me coming to these meetings for 20 plus years. And I want to assure you that the county building is too far away for me. So you won't have to hear anything from me at that point in time. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Ms. Wheat. Beautiful, beautiful comments.
And for everyone's edification tonight, when we have a participant from the teleconference environment, we touch base with Councilmember Spies. Do you have anyone clamoring at your location that would wish to address this item on the agenda, Councilmember Spies?
Let me look around. Give me a second. No, there's no one signed up to speak here.
All right. Expect to hear that question a lot as we proceed through the agenda this evening.
All right, very good. Then I will go ahead and close the public comment opportunity and look for a motion here to certify the November 8th, 2022 general municipal election results for offices.
Mayor, I would be happy to make that motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. do we need to do a roll call because of the
We
online?
will be doing a roll call vote. And
All right.
so with the motion and the second for the action under item 1A for the resolution to certify the results, I will commence that roll call vote with Councilmember Spies,
Aye.
Councilmember Hume,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Suen,
Aye.
and Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution passes 4-0.
All right, very good. Recognition of outgoing officers. I'll turn it over to our city manager.
All right, I'll get it kicked off. Really, on behalf of the staff, I'm sorry Stephanie's not here, but Councilmember Hume, to you and to Councilmember Nguyen, just wanted to express our deepest appreciations for your many years of service, your commitment to the community. You always push staff to do good work and to make sure that the citizens of our community were placed in the highest esteem. We were responsive in what we did. We were conscientious in spending taxpayer dollars and always wanted to make sure that Elk Grove was the best place that it could be, and the quality of life was second to none. And I think our community is much better now than it was when you first got on the Planning Commission before it was incorporated, and all your time on the Planning Commission and the City Council, and you look at the things that we've been able to accomplish during your tenure is really impressive, and really appreciate your collaborative nature, the team spirit that you always had between council and staff members. And I know our team, the staff members really appreciate your trust in us to do good service on behalf of the people of Elk Grove. So we really thank you, and thank also Councilmember Nguyen for your years of service and the good that you've done for our community. We really look forward to continuing to work with you in your new capacity on the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors. So thank you. So we do have some plaques. I know I'll turn it back to the mayor for a few comments, and we'll go ahead and proceed.
We'll do the presentation after we complete our council comments. So I'll turn it over. Let's go to Councilmember Spies, if you would like to offer some parting words.
Sure. I'm gonna miss. I hate to say it this way, but I'm gonna miss us. I think that the five of us did a really good job together in the last 2 years. Stephanie, I know you're not there. Hopefully you're watching. But Stephanie and Pat, you guys have been friends and coworkers, if that's what we'll call it, for a couple of years now, but friends even longer. And from the audience, I've been able to watch and see what you do and to learn from you. And so the last 2 years working directly with you has been a pleasure. And so without going on a whole lot longer, I know that this will not be the last time that I see either of you. I'm sure I will see you at every crab feed and every pumpkin weighing festival into the future. But I'm really glad. I'm glad for Grove because we have fantastic representation going forward in Elk Grove for the assembly and for the county. So with that, I'll miss you, but I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Councilmember Spies. Councilmember Suen?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I feel very similar to Councilmember Spies. It's not that often where we for lack of a better term, lose two council members at the same time. I think it's only the third time in the city's history. And Councilmember Hume, I think you're the only one, and the next closest is our sheriff-elect in the audience here, that has been with this city since it's the beginning, right? First you were on Planning Commission, and then 16 years on council. I've had the honor and privilege to serve with you for 8 of those years, these past 16 years, and the friendship and partnership, we've had on here. Councilmember Nguyen, you, Councilmember Detrick in the audience when he was up here, and we've got a lot of good work done, and collaboratively, You've been a great partner on this council, as was mentioned earlier. Your knowledge and your preparation for the meetings and the questions you ask. I like riffing off you, and I've always jokingly called you my partner in crime, and because
Not literally.
no, jokingly I said jokingly, but I've always admired too your eloquence, in your dialogue, and so I'm gonna miss all of that. I know you won't be far, and for Miss Wheat, we'll have better transit so you can get up there and visit him lately in the future. But and I miss our friendly banter, and but I think you're gonna fit well up there because I've watched a couple of those supervisors up there, and they're equally witty, and so it's going to be a sight to see with you up there with them. So I want to thank you for all you've done for Elk Grove, again your friendship and your leadership on this council, and I'm going to miss you, buddy. Gonna miss you. Yeah. And then Councilmember Nguyen, I know she can't be here today. I think they've got an assembly meeting out of town, but similarly, to just really enjoyed the friendship and partnership with you as well. You've certainly made the council a lot of fun when you joined. I think that's the only time we started having choreographed dance routines in parades. So again, we'll miss you both, and thank you both for your service. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes. So I'll start off with Assemblywoman, because she is already sworn in. Assemblywoman Nguyen, it was an honor to get to know you over the last several years. I got to sit in the middle row here in our council dais holding your hand when the council was looking for an appointment in District 4. I proudly and enthusiastically testified in your support because I knew you would bring great passion and commitment to our community and city. And now that you're on the Assembly, I look forward to seeing the great work that you'll do. And big shoes to fill. I know that Sheriff Cooper, I don't know, I think you were a size 15 shoe size or something like that. You got big shoes to fill, but I have no doubt that you will do great things in the Assembly, and particularly representing the best interests of our city and the district. So congratulations to you, sister. Make us all proud. Oh my goodness. To you, Councilmember Hume. I'm going to try not to cry. This is an emotional moment. I know this is not goodbye. And I just wish, really wish, that many people would get to know you and not just what they think of you and what they think that you are. Because who you are an amazing, dynamic, community-driven human being that cares so much. I've gotten to see that wonderful side over the last 15 years. You've seen my children grow up. I know that this is not goodbye, but the passion that you brought to our city, you can drive around Elk Grove and you will see a lot of Councilmember Hume's hard work and dedication in shaping this amazing city. That's you, my friend. And I've got to cheer you on, even though initially when you first ran, I wasn't with you, but you won me over. And that's important because it goes to his character. I know some of my colleagues and staff know the story, but it's worth sharing. When he first ran for city council, I did not support him. But he reached out to me the day after that election and extended that olive branch. And that was an important gesture. And in that, a friendship was born, but also just seeing your passion. And I agree with Ms. Lynn Wheat. I do think you are the smartest person on the council. You've worked so hard for 20 years. That is no small feat. 20 years helping to shape our city. That institutional knowledge has great merit and value. So I will miss that. What I will miss most are your little isms and colloquialisms, because this immigrant girl does not know all of them, and I'm sitting here like, I'll write it down like, what the heck did he just say? So I'll have to go home and ask my husband, who also drops those colloquialisms. They go right past me, and like, I hear English words, but I have no idea what he's saying. So thank you for keeping us on our toes, but most of all, thank you for your friendship on not just me personally, but my family. We're all big fans. And as you go off into your new role as a supervisor, I know you will bring that same level of professionalism and passion that you have shown this city. We will have a great partner in the county, being a champion not only for the entire District 5, but of course our city. So I look forward to working with you and partnering with you as we address some of our most pressing issues, including homelessness and crime, and so many other quality of life issues. I know the district is in great hands, and Supervisor Natoli, also big shoes to fill, but I know that you will fill those shoes and you will make that seat your own. And I look forward to seeing all the great work that you're gonna do and really watching those that perhaps may not have supported you or is because they don't know you. And I look forward to seeing those minds and hearts change, because you are a great human being, and I am so proud to call you a friend and be one of your biggest fans. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
I'm ugly crying on the inside right now. I don't want my makeup to bleed. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I appreciate everything that has been said by my colleagues, and fortunately, I had an opportunity to meet with a lot of staff prior to this meeting to express my gratitude and appreciation for the work that they do to make this city great. Look, tonight is not about the past, it's about the future, and so I'm going to try and keep my comments short. But in the 22 years that I've been serving the city, but who's counting? It's been a great honor and privilege to have helped shape the city that became of the community where I grew up. And I poured a lot of what I thought made Elk Grove a special place as a person growing up here into the work that I did. I appreciate people like Lynn and like Sharon Anderson that's here, because they forced me to express myself in a way where if we have to agree to disagree, we at least know that we're both coming from a place of reason, a place of thought, and a place of care. And so I know I'm not going to win everybody over, even if they get to know me, but I hope that as I go forward and continue public service, that I am able to do that, to be able to come to every decision being prepared, able to justify, able to listen and learn and grow each time that I can. And I just want to close by saying this, that some of the things that were mentioned by my colleagues remotely and on the dais here regarding the friendships and the congeniality, those don't happen everywhere. And especially when you get in political circles where personalities are involved, leverage and maneuvering is involved, the desire to outperform for your constituents, all of these things that create this sort of push-pull. And yet we all get along and we actually like each other and we actually enjoy spending time with one another. And that's important for a lot of reasons, not just because of the relationships that it builds and the trust that it puts in one another, that we are here to do the work and we're going to not be uncivil or disparaging towards one another, but it also sends a message to staff that they are empowered and that they are free to think big and try things, and that their council has their back, and that their council is more concerned with the good work being done than with the personalities that are sitting up here. And it also sends a message to the community that we can trust our council to do the work like adults, which again is not always evident in every political arena. And then it also sends a message to our business community so that folks like Daryl, when they're trying to recruit people to come to this town, they look and they see a quiet political environment. And that makes them feel confident about their investments. It makes people feel confident when they're moving here, that they're coming to a town where things just kind of function. And so after the election, before it was certified, but as things were kind of starting to shake clear, city manager made a comment to me that I think is important to share, and that is that the voters of Elk Grove expressed confidence in this council. They voted to send Assemblymember Wynn to the Assembly. They voted to send me to be the new supervisor for the 5th District. They approved they re-elected their mayor. They approved the sales tax increase, even though other sales tax increases came up short. And for the folks that are about to take their oath of office, they voted a vote of confidence for candidates that they feel have the sense and sensibility to not come in and upset the apple cart, but to take the good work that's been done, keep the trajectory of the city, and go on to great things. And so I'm not going to list all of the stuff that I've been involved in, but just a couple of things that I would like to say is when I was on the Planning Commission and doing the original general plan, we carved out the rural area, and I think that makes Elk Grove special. You do not see a lot of cities that have a rural area incorporated within their city limits. Please, please continue to protect that and continue to protect that way of life. The other thing is some of the amenities that we've built here recently. The animal shelter comes to mind for me because even though there was a little bit of opposition of whether we serve two-legged constituents or four-legged constituents, it's a part of the fabric of a community, and it's a part of making a higher quality of life for your residents who are either looking to expand their family in a time of joy or who are desperately trying to find a loved one in a time of grief. The aquatic center, the civic center, the nature preserve, the things that are on the horizon with respect to the zoo, the casino that has just opened and what that meant with our relationship to the tribe. There's a lot of great things to be proud of. Project Elevate. I mean, there's just a lot that really make me proud of the work we've done, that I was able to be a part of it. And I leave this dais, longest serving council member, by the way, Mr. Cooper. I leave this dais knowing that I put my heart into it. I tried to do the best job that I could. I tried to do it in a way that let people know that I took the work seriously. And I've tried to create an environment where people felt like they could excel and that they wanted to come to work and they wanted to do good work for the community. Because it is all of you that pay for everything that happens here. And your interaction with the government should be as painless, as helpful, and as fruitful as you expect it to be. And I'd like to close with one thing, and I've told this story before, but maybe my proudest moment was when I was contacted by a little girl in elementary school who had seen a duck get run over on Elk Grove Florin Road. And she contacted her council member to see if there was something that could be done because this was a traumatic event for her. And we ended up having duck crossing signs installed on Elk Grove Florin. Now, it's a small thing, and really, I don't know if we've ever saved the life of any ducks. But it told that little girl that she could get engaged, that she could get involved, that she had a voice, and that she could enact change from her government, and her government responded to her. And I hope she takes that lesson with her the rest of her life. I thank everybody for the opportunity to have been here, and I will be back in a different capacity. And I wish nothing but luck, success, perseverance, and wisdom to the folks who are going to be coming up on this dais. And so with that, so long.
Should be good.
There's only three.
I know, this is kind of awkward.
And we have a poster cut out of Councilmember Spies. He's right behind you. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Hey, he's
perfect.
right here.
Let's do it like this. There we go.
Point to you.
Hey, wait, tell me when I'm supposed to smile. Hang on.
Now. All right, our next item is presentation of the administration of oath of office to the mayor and city council members-elect and presentation of the certificates of election. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Usually it's a monumental amount of bureaucracy in order to get a position added to an office. I have the benefit of having doubling the size of my office with 3 deputies tonight, and I thank my deputies for taking the necessary steps in order to assist me with this, but also to bring a personal touch as the oath is administered to our members-elect. What I'd like to do is start with our District 4 member-elect, Sergio Robles, and I'll do a little bit of conducting up at the front. But if I could ask my deputy, Teresa Legaspi, to also step forward. But Mr. Robles, if you do have anyone that you wish to bring up with you, we're big fans of having a team that can step behind you and take this oath with you. But I'll come up and just do a little bit of conducting, but otherwise I pass it over to my deputy in order to conduct the oath.
Wonderful. Come on up, Robles family.
All of your fans that can line up, I think that helps with the photo opportunity. You can come over here, stand by our member-elect, and get them into office here. So, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All
All right. You let me know when I start.
The stage is yours, so please.
Got it.
Perfect.
All right, can you raise your right hand? I, Sergio Robles, put your hand on the Bible, please.
I, Sergio Robles,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend
that I'll support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take the obligation freely
that I take the obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will and faithfully
and that I will and faithfully
discharge the duty upon which I am to enter.
discharge the duty upon which I'm about to enter.
Yes, sir.
So many cameras.
Congratulations, Mr. Council.
Welcome up here, Councilmember Robles. Sounds nice, right? Councilmember Robles?
Councilmember Robles.
And we're going to continue our process as I ask my next deputy if you can step forward along with Councilmember-elect Rod Brewer and come forward to our speaker podium. Same format. So if you have any team members that you wish to bring up.
I, Roderick Charles Brewer,
Do solemnly swear and/or affirm
do solemnly swear and/or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Council Member Brewer. I guess that means
Yes.
And I'm not sure if I might have crossed some boundaries, but I got to call a sheriff a deputy tonight. But thank you for the assistance. And I think we'll be calling up Mayor.
Sheriff Jim Cooper, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Bobby Singh Allen,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
and that I take this obligation freely
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Mayor. Hey.
Oh, okay, let's do it. Can I get my brother in? My brother and nephews and sister-in-law?
Ah.
Camera's on.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
One more.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back, Mayor.
Wow. Thank you, thank you. All right, at this time, I'm gonna just sort of call on each and every one of you to just sort of reflect, and if you want to offer up any comments before we take our motion for our vice mayor and take our little break for our reception. There will be a break for about 20 to 30 minutes in a few minutes. So we'll start with Council Member Brewer.
It was so funny because as we were taking the oath, a lot of things were going through my mind about being here and moving here to Sacramento and Elk Grove back in 1987, just a week after I graduated from high school, and just looking at the sacrifice that my mom did in coming up here and taking a chance and giving her children an opportunity for a better life, because down in the Central Valley where we were from, there weren't a lot of opportunities, and a lot of opportunities to do what we are all doing today. And I look back very humbly at the process that it took for me to get here. Has been a long process, but it's been worth the journey, because I've got a chance to learn a lot about myself and learn a lot about people and about life, and I've become a better person for it. And during the last 12 years serving across the way at the CSD on the board, I had a chance to sharpen my tools, hone my skills, and be a much better, not just a better board member, but a better representative of the people. And I totally recognize the 22 years of service that Pat Hume has given to the city of Elk Grove as a planning commissioner, as a city council member, but more importantly, as a good friend. And one of the things that I was told when I joined the CSD 12 years ago, Chief Grunberg said, "Got one advice for you, kid. Don't screw it up." But from there, I definitely made a promise and a covenant to the people of Elk Grove and Galt that I would leave our community better than I found it. So my pledge to all of you, and my pledge to Pat, is that with all the work that you've done, I will work very hard with my colleagues up here, who are now my colleagues, to make this city much better than you have left it, because this is what our city deserves, and it's what our city asks of us. So I humbly say thank you for all the people in District 2 who voted for me. I will not let you down, and for the people who did not vote for me, I will work just as hard for you, and I'll be your representative every day, and I'll be present, because District 2 is not just a place where I live, it is my home. And with that, I want to say thank you, God bless, and let's get to work.
All right, we'll give it up to our council member, Sergio Robles.
So there's no time limit, right? Just want to make sure. No, just kidding, just kidding. I'm just gonna take this in. This is, I just want to give all the honor, honestly, to God. I'm pretty happy to be here. We just celebrated my mother's 70th birthday this Saturday, and for those who've heard the story, I grew up in a single-parent household. My mom worked for $7.25 an hour, and really just worked hard, worked tough. And, to see her being able to witness her son get elected to Elk Grove City Council, that's something that for me means the world to me. To see my sister here being the one to have me take the oath of office, that means a lot. And not only that, but seeing each and every one of you here. This is why I ran, and this is what's about. This is what Elk Grove is about. It's about community. You see here, this room is so diverse, and I love it. I love it. It's so diverse. To see the newly electeds, we have our state senator who's here as well in the audience. We have our county supervisor who's here in the audience. We have our sheriff-elect, Jim Cooper, who's here in the audience. If this isn't government working for Elk Grove, then I don't know what it is, and this is amazing. So each and every one of you made an impact in my life, and each and every one of you have impacted my life, and each and every one of you have impacted the city. And I'm super just thankful. I'm thankful to be here, thankful for the opportunity to serve, and I'm ready to serve. Thank you.
I'll go online here to Councilmember Spies, who I see teary-eyed. If you know Councilmember Spies, he feels the comments. He's wonderfully thoughtful that way. So the floor is yours, Councilmember Spies.
Oh, okay. So since I can't really see what's going on, I'm not entirely certain.
It's a packed house.
I'm sorry?
Said it's a packed house.
Oh, okay. No, I couldn't see what's going on at the dais, so I'm assuming I think you just had the two new council
Yes.
persons just had their comments. So, okay. So first I want to say, congratulations to the both of you. I think our city has chosen very well. And I am looking very much forward to working with you in the future. We all need to remember that we are one Elk Grove. We all are elected by different districts, but in the end, we represent all of the people of Elk Grove. And I know that that all of us, I should say, are committed to that. And I look forward to seeing you in the second week in January, when we'll all be together fully for the first time. And so welcome to the City Council.
Council member or Vice Mayor Suen.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to congratulate you, Mayor, on your reelection. Welcome back. Glad to have you. And to my new colleagues, Councilmember Brewer and Councilmember Robles, congratulations to both of you. I'm so proud of Elk Grove continuing to choose people who are dedicated to public service. First, Councilmember Brewer, your service on the CSD, you've demonstrated there. And Councilmember Robles, your service on our Planning Commission. I believe we're in good hands, this team going forward. And I'm excited. I can't wait to get started to continue the good work that's been going on these past few years. So again, congratulations and welcome.
I'll start off with my first, my new two colleagues. I am so proud of both of you. You worked hard. This was not handed to either of you. You worked hard every day. And I know that you will not only represent your districts with great pride and commitment, but you will also serve our city with that same level of commitment. Elk Grove is special. If you just look around the entire region, that infighting, the working in silos and not always getting along, we here in Elk Grove raise that bar for everyone else. And I have no doubt that my two new colleagues will continue in that tradition that we've established of working together, collaboration, that it's not about me, it's about we the city, we the people. So congratulations to both of you. I know with confidence that I will see great things from both of you, and I look forward to working together with you. To my community that's here this evening, thank you. I want to recognize some of our electeds and community members that came from a long distance. We have Supervisor Karam Baines here, coming in all the way from Yuba City.
Hey.
Thank you. Supervisor Baines and his family are the patriarchs in the Punjabi Sikh community. They have done tremendous work bringing our community and giving them jobs and a livelihood when we emigrated to the United States. They have helped thousands upon thousands of families. And I know, and in some measurement, I know for a fact that your family, your dad, played a big role in not only shaping our lives, but thousands upon thousands of Punjabis throughout this country. Thank you for taking that lead from your dad and carrying that torch and making this your own. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me. I have council member, our vice mayor from Galt, Paul Sandhu is here as well. Thank you, Paul. Proud moments for the Sikh community. It's just wonderful to have my brothers here in support of their sister. When we started this journey 2 years ago, I was the first directly elected Sikh woman in the United States. And we now have also made history. My sister in Bakersfield was elected as the first Sikh woman to the California legislature in our state's history. So thank you. So we are making great progress. There is so much love and support here. My Punjabi and Sikh community, my Indian American community. It means the world to me that you have stood by my side, not only on my days serving on the school board, but of course in my journey as mayor. I thank each and every one of you. I know there's a lot of representatives here from the Indian Association of Sacramento and so many others, the Gujarati Samaj. Thank you all. The Bradshaw Sikh Society, thank you for believing in me and supporting me when I first decided to run. Look at this room, so many wonderful friends that are here. And then, of course, I see my professor from law school, Daryl Wu, Sac City Unified. Out of respect, I will always call him Professor Wu because it's a term of endearment. And I have another Sikh brother who was elected to the Lodi City Council, making history of his own. Mikey Hoti, are you here somewhere? There you are. Our CSD directors, our planning commissioners, thank you. To my sheriff, and I love saying that, my sheriff, our first mayor, and an amazing assembly member, thank you for swearing me in and being here and always being supportive of my journey. You are a part of that story and that history. Thank you for all that you've done for me. Let's give a shout out to our new state senator, Angelique Ashby. I look forward to working with you, sister, and doing great things for our city and the district. I know that our district is in great hands with you leading the way. I'm so proud to be your friend and looking forward to doing great things together. Thank you for being here for all of us.
Thank you.
My family, my brother, my sister-in-law, Kelly and Angela, my nephews, my children, my husband. This is my parents who are in India watching. I am my grandparents' wildest dream that their granddaughter, could come to this country at the age of 4 and be mayor of the 7th most diverse city in the United States. That is such a badge of honor that I don't take lightly. So thank you. It's not an easy journey, and all of the partners, spouses, loved ones of electeds, you know how I know how challenging it is. I know what my family goes through, that sacrifice. Thank you to the families for supporting all of us so that we can work in public service and a commitment to our communities. Without all of your support for all of us, we couldn't do it. So round of applause for all of you family members and friends that support us every day. This room is filled with love. There is so much diversity. I just put the invite out there and said, let's see who comes. And my God, did the community show up. And you showed up for all of us. And I just thank each and every one of you. I work hard every day to bring our community together. And that's my commitment to you for the next 2 years, is that in that same fashion, with that passion and that conviction, I want to see a united Elk Grove where we work together for the betterment of all people. Everybody has a seat at the table. We want to break down all of those political barriers and nonsense that divides people. When we work together, everything is possible. All dreams are welcome here in our city. And so when we dream big, we bring our community along, because it's not about me, it's about all of you. So thank you. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all of the voters that supported me and everyone that showed up to vote, whether you supported me or not. I am proud to be your mayor. And I look forward to getting to know some of you over the next 2 years. So with that, we are going to move on to our appointment of our vice mayor.
Indeed, we have
And then
a
we will
warm-up
have a
vote.
reception where we can all meet and take some photos, hopefully.
So thank you, council. This is a warm-up vote, but it does count just as any other one that you do. But
is
it
your
does
first
help
one.
us set up and establish the seating arrangements that'll be changed while we go into the reception. But I leave the floor for a motion for nominees for vice mayor. For the
Mayor,
upcoming
I'd,
year.
I'd like to nominate Councilmember Spees to be vice mayor.
Mayor, I would like to second that motion.
All right, very good. We have a motion and a second to appoint Vice Mayor Mr. Kevin Spees. Roll call vote.
And starting with the roll call vote, I will start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Spees.
Abstain.
Vice Mayor Suen.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
And with that, we will have a new vice mayor as we step in to the
Very
night.
good. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you.
All right. I also wanted to thank representatives from both Congressman Barra and Congresswoman Matsui's office. Thank you for being here and supporting our city council. Looking forward to doing great things with you. With that, we will take a little break for our reception. There's some great refreshments outside. And we'll come back. It's said, we can take 20 to 30 minutes. Any preference? 30. 30? All right. I heard 30. I agree. There's a lot of people to visit. All right. So we'll come back at 7:30 with the regular business of the city. Congratulations and thank you, everyone. All right. Can I get an approval of the agenda?
So moved. Is there a second?
Can we get a second? We have a motion and a second.
And we'll go with the roll call vote, and I'll give just a bit of a pause just to make sure that we do have Vice Mayor Spees connected via our internet, and I will start the roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spees.
Aye.
Excellent. We have the connection. And Mayor Singh Allen.
Yes. Aye.
We have the 5-0 vote for the agenda.
All right. Very good.
As that takes us through the process, we do not have any closed session items under Section 3, which will advance us to Section 4, our presentations and announcements. That first item being item 4.1, a crime reporting presentation. And again, as we have the teleconference environment established for this evening for any of our staff doing presentations, thank you for using the share screen so that that will be projected out to Vice Mayor Spees.
Good evening. First, I'd like to congratulate the new council members. Welcome. My name is Delfina Franco. I am the records manager for the Elk Grove Police Department. I've been here since 2006. Since the Elk Grove Police Department started, I'm one of the originating members here for the department. The presentation to council today is to explain the change of crime reporting from UCR Uniform Crime Reporting to NIBR's National Incident-Based Reporting System. This change was mandated by the FBI and the Department of Justice to all law enforcement agencies currently reporting UCR to convert to NIBRs. As you can see, Uniform Crime Report Summary Reporting involves Part 1 offenses only, which are criminal homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, theft, and motor vehicle theft. The hierarchy crime reporting means that if two different offenses are in a police report, only one will be reported based on the hierarchy rule. For example, if a police report is taken with a robbery and aggravated assault in the same report, only the robbery would be reported since it's the higher of the crimes. This is a new NIBRs reporting, Group A and Group B. They are now 22 crime categories and the Group B offenses. Unlike UCR, up to 10 offenses per incident can be reporting, eliminating the hierarchy rule. From the previous example, from the robbery assault police report, both robbery and assaults will now be reported for NIBRs. The difference with the Group B offenses is that they will only be reported to NIBRs if an arrest is made. This is an example of the Part 1 crimes that were reported in 2021 for UCR. As you can see in this In this graph, the homicide includes manslaughter. In NIBRS, it does not. This is what the NIBRS reporting will look like for 2022, which would now include other offenses categories such as animal cruelty, embezzlement, and simple assaults. One thing to notice is the difference with the reporting in NIBRS. At the very bottom, you can see that negligent manslaughter now has its own separate category, and murder has its separate as well. If we were continue to report UCR for 2022, this would be the comparison with the preliminary numbers. Preliminary numbers meaning 2022, since we are still in December and still don't have the full count. Apart from homicide, all UCR park crimes are down. The 2022 Group B offenses reporting, these are up to date, through November, and these are the only ones that have been reported since these are the ones that have arrests. This time next year, we will have a better understanding and comparison in NIBRS since they will have the 2 years of reporting. So we will have a comparison table, however, we will not have a UCR comparison table since it will now be NIBRS. Does anybody have any questions for me?
All right, thank you for that excellent presentation. I will go online first, and any questions or comments from Vice Mayor Spies?
I do have a question, thank you. So we would expect to see, because of the new reporting, we would expect to see an increase in reported crimes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and we would not be able to do a comparison or a fair comparison from, say, 2020 to 2022, correct?
Correct. We cannot do that only because based on the old records management system we had before, it didn't have the capability to compare the NIBRS or obtain the NIBRS statistics to bring over to the new records management system, which is now
Right.
NIBRS compliant.
And it was only storing the most serious offense.
Correct. Based on the hierarchy.
Right. Okay. Well, interesting. I guess that'll take some public education. But thank you very much. I appreciate your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Spies. I will go to Councilmember Suen.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Delphina, for the information. I look forward to learning more about this report as we continue to use it. Thank you.
Councilmember Brewer.
I just want to thank you for the information, Delphina. This is good to have this granular form of information, because as we see the granular stuff, it gives us a more detailed feel of what's going on. So I really appreciate that, and I thank you for bringing this to us. Like Councilmember Suen, I look forward to seeing the report as it comes out.
Yeah, so we thought it was important to get in front of it rather than just publishing it, and hopefully have a better understanding for yourselves and also for the community as well.
Councilmember Robles.
No questions at this time, but thank you for the thorough presentation. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. I, of course, like my colleagues, look forward to seeing more in the coming months and year.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have public comment. I will go ahead and open up the public comment opportunity. I see one person signed up to speak, Ann Hennessy.
Good evening, council members and staff. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Ann Hennessy, and I live in Hampton Village. We had several of my neighbors here, but they couldn't stay. They had to go home. I do have a few left, if you guys want to wave. I'm here to document for you the work that I and my neighbors have attempted to do in order to convince the city that areas of our neighborhood have become unsafe and that we need traffic controls. Myself and several others have been in contact with police administration, with public works, and with the fire department, and we've been frustrated by the lack of progress. Several times I've been told my pleas for help didn't reach someone's ears, or that the city is working on things but doesn't have a firm timeline, or that my requests for help were misunderstood because I wasn't clear. So I'm here tonight to make sure that we're all on the same page and that my message is clear. I spent this past summer collecting signatures on 2 petitions to get traffic controls on Hampton Oak Drive and on Richboro Way. The city added a requested stop sign to Richboro and is considering our request for 1 speed hump at a treacherous curve. Yesterday, the city installed a device that displays motorist speed on the inbound side of Hampton Oak, although nothing's planned for the outbound side. But thank you for those. We are still requesting a neighborhood meeting with fire, police, and city staff so that people can discuss our needs. I requested that meeting in writing August 4th when I submitted the petitions. I included our council representative at that time. In the meeting request, I sent that council representative a personal letter with copies of the petitions. We've never heard anything back from that former council member. We did receive many requests for votes for that council member, but our concerns have never been acknowledged. The city has taken no action on the Hampton Oak Drive petition because I was told I didn't use the official city form, so it wasn't considered an official petition for help. As for the Richboro Way petition, the city had me redo the entire petition on its own form, which I did, adding 4 more houses to my original count. So we've jumped through your hoops, and we continue jumping through your hoops. I've had numerous conversations with city staff and police, but so far we've had no meeting date. We do not know if and when the city will install a crosswalk and stop sign at the intersection of Hampton Oak and Canyon View, where families routinely take their lives into their own hands to visit Jenny O'Connell Park. Huge soccer park, not just our neighborhood park. Unfortunately, my neighbor didn't make it across Hampton Oak in early November. He was killed trying to visit the park for his daily walk. I'm told that investigation is still continuing, but police issued a press release to the public within hours of the accident claiming speed was not a factor. He was killed because he was in the street and wearing dark clothes.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, I'll ask afterwards if you can follow up with our new council member, Mr. Brewer, to help facilitate some of those questions that you had raised. I'm sure you can get the information. But thank you, and we look forward to hearing more about this.
Mayor, could we also ask Public Works to help out
Yes,
with?
of course.
Councilmember, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so
Public Works.
I'm going to ask Kristen to follow up. And we have been aware of the situation. We are actively working, as she mentioned. We did install a driver feedback sign recently to make people aware of the speed. There's a transition from a 40 or 45 mile per hour speed to a 25 mile per hour zone that occurs within this neighborhood, and so we want to make drivers aware of that. And we are actively working to install the crosswalk at the park. Unfortunately, the stop sign is not warranted at the location at Canyon View, and so we're considering other options. And I just have her follow up with Kristen.
Okay.
Chief, do you know anything about the meeting that's been scheduled, or? Yeah.
And Ms. Parsons is in the back. She will connect with you. Thank you, Ms. Hennessy.
Just a quick question, Mayor, for Public Works. Is there any issue with the forms, whether it needs to be, okay?
I'm not aware of that situation, and a little bit surprised to hear that we would have such issues with the forms. So Kristen can follow up with that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So Ms. Hennessy, Kristen will, as she awaits you in the back.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, I know I'm limited to 3 minutes.
Yes.
But we sat for 2 hours while you guys took pictures and ate cookies.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I know, it's rude.
We have the 3-minute rule. Thank you, though, for coming and sharing. I do not see anybody else signed up to speak, so I'll go to our Vice Mayor. Anybody there who would like to speak?
Nope, no one signed up to speak here.
All right, very good. I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment opportunity, and we will move on to our general administration information, our city manager's report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. Jason Behrman, City Manager. A few items to report on this evening. City CSD and Elk Grove Heart have partnered to open an overnight warming location, or OWL, this week to combat the drop in overnight temperatures. Monday's operation at District 56 provided a warm place for 8 community members. Last night, OWL moved to the Wackford Center. We had, I think, 9 individuals show up there. It's operating again tonight through Thursday, and as needed as the temperatures warrant. 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. Limited number of pets can also be accommodated at Wackford, and masks are required. As was mentioned earlier tonight, certification of Measure E is official now. We appreciate the community's trust in the city to spend the dollars wisely and in accordance with community priorities, as was largely discussed throughout the campaign. I wanted to provide just a little bit of information on next steps with that. So the city will be holding a series of workshops with the community in January and February of next year to collect community input on the development of an expenditure plan that's consistent with those community priorities. We'll also be soliciting ideas and projects and priorities from our city departments as well as the CSD, who's our partner in this. We're also working on the formation of a citizens oversight committee, as was stipulated in the measure. So we bring that back to the city council likely in January with details and what that might look like. So those are kind of some of the next short-term steps in that process. Looking forward to partnering with the community and the formation of those. So last chance to spread holiday cheers for local seniors. This is something we really are look forward to. So holidays can be a lonely time, as many of you know, for our senior residents who may be without family. The city staff has coordinated with local senior facilities to identify nearly 1,000 Elk Grove seniors who could use some holiday cheer. Residents can pick up free holiday card-making kits at City Hall through the end of this week. Kits include everything to craft a special holiday wish to a local senior. This is the 3rd year for the Send a Smile program, and the project is coordinated this year by our employee-led community assistance network. Republic Services is asking residents to weigh in on their customer service experience through a survey running through December 21st. Residents that respond will be entered in to win a $100 gift card or $100 credit on their Republic Services account. The survey is open to Elk Grove residents only. A link to that can be found on the city's Facebook pages. I just wanted to let everybody know the police department has increased patrols around local shopping centers over the holiday season. Officers are in marked patrol vehicles, unmarked vehicles, and on foot, helping prevent crime and keeping shoppers and retailers safe. We want to remind residents to call Elk Grove Police Department at 916-714-5115 if they see any suspicious activity. And then a little bit about the zoo. So before a new zoo can be considered by the Elk Grove City Council, an environmental impact report, or EIR, must be prepared to analyze the potential environmental impacts of the project. On November 18th, the city released a notice of preparation for the environmental impact report. Public comment on the NOP will be accepted through January 13th of next year. Comments may be submitted in writing to the Office of Strategic Planning and Innovation. Details are available on the city's website. And then final thing is just with the holidays coming up, City Hall is going to be closed on Friday, December 23rd and Monday, December 26th for Christmas, and Friday, December 30th and Monday, January 2nd for New Year's. Waste pickup and public safety services will continue to operate as normal on these days. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
Thank you, Mr. Bierman. Does the Vice Mayor have any questions or comments? Mr. Spies? No?
I don't, thank you.
Anyone from the dais? All right, thank you, sir. All right, with that, we'll move on to our next item, our consent calendar items. At this time, I'll open up the public comment opportunity. I do not see anyone signed up to speak here. For protocol, I have to ask our Vice Mayor Spies, anyone signed up to speak there?
No.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and close the public comment opportunity and look for a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
For the roll call vote for approval of the items on the consent calendar, I will start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
Consent calendar items pass 5-0.
All right, very good. Now we have a series of public hearings.
That first one is item 8.1, a public hearing to consider resolution amending the climate action plan and an ordinance amending Elk Grove Municipal Code Title 16, Building and Construction, and Title 23 zoning related to electric vehicle charging, and receive council direction regarding standards for building electrification. Currently, staff are pulling up the presentation, but also having it so it's broadcast out to Vice Mayor Spies. Looks like we're on.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Carrie Whitlock, Strategic Planning and Innovation Program Manager for the city. And I am here this evening to talk about amendments to our climate action plan and revisions to the municipal code for consistency in implementation of the statewide building code related to electric vehicle charging. So the climate action plan is our plan on how we will approach reductions in greenhouse gas emissions and address climate change. The document is used by many of our local partners for tiering purposes with regard to project implementation and design to ensure they can meet the reduction targets that we have set out. The CAP was comprehensively updated in 2019, and there have been minor amendments since then. The last one was done at the end of 2019 to reflect state building code updates. As the CAP is developed, there are certain assumptions used to relate to the existing building code or forecast what might come out in a new building code. The state updates the building code every 3 years on a cycle. And this one that will go into effect January 1st has some new electric vehicle charging requirements for all projects that pull a building permit after January 1st. So there's some conflict with our climate action plan and our municipal code. The state requirements are more advanced than what we currently have, and so I'm here this evening to look at correcting that. So what is shown here is what was adopted in late 2019. The requirement included either construction of actual spaces with electric vehicle chargers or spaces termed as EV ready for future expansion of EV supply equipment based on the percentage of parking stalls provided for the different development types. Not shown are the requirements for single family residential, which do require that raceway and dedicated branch circuit be installed in the garage for the homeowner to be able to install a charger. The 2022 California Green Building Code includes new definitions and requirements, and they can be a little bit confusing. We have tried to put together what we hope will be a helpful guide for developers to navigate the new requirements, and that was included as attachment 3 in your packet. Some of the key definition additions or updates are included here. The definition for EV ready changed, primarily related to the termination of the electrical wiring. So in the 2019 definition included termination in a cabinet box or enclosure, whereas the 2022 definition terminates in a receptacle or charger. This means that EV-ready spaces will now be required to include either an electrical outlet or a charger. And EV requirements are only for multifamily residential and motel hotel uses. EV capable has also been added as a requirement, and this is defined to include the electrical panel space, the load capacity to support branch circuit necessary wasteways for future EV charger installation. There are EV capable requirements for all land use types. Automatic load management system has also been added, and it's defined as a system that is designed to manage the electrical load across multiple EV chargers to share capacity or automatically manage load at each point. So ALMS systems are an option to reduce the maximum required electrical capacity, and they can be used really to help manage the load for larger projects. So in terms of requirements for different building types, single family residential, as I said, stayed the same. Each unit is required to have an EV capable space in the garage. The standards did change quite a bit for multifamily residential. One change is that hotels and motels are now classified with multifamily residential given the similarities in uses between the two. I won't go through all the details here, there's a lot, but you will see that there are requirements for percentage of EV capable spaces, percentage of EV-ready spaces, and if the projects are larger with 10 units or more, they also have to have EV supply equipment already installed spaces. For non-residential developments, all building types, whether they're retail, office, commercial, industrial, are all grouped together. The EV charging requirements are linked to the number of parking spaces being installed. So, as mentioned, non-residential does not have any requirement for EV-ready spaces, only requirements for EV-capable and EV chargers actually installed. For the smallest lots, those with fewer than 10 parking spaces, they're not required to put in any EV charging requirements, but larger lots over 200 spaces are required to have 20% of those spaces as EV capable, and then 25% of the EV capable spaces have to have actual EV chargers installed. New this cycle are requirements around medium and heavy duty charging. These are essential loading spaces, warehouses, grocery stores, retail stores, that are going to be required to have additional electrical capacity to support the future installation of medium or heavy duty chargers, so that at some point in the future, charging of those larger delivery trucks can happen during loading and unloading. The state did add a few exemptions from these requirements for insufficient power supply or financial costs. We don't anticipate that either of these will be used very frequently, and they'll be reviewed on a case-by-case basis as they come in. The power supply may be an issue with some localized areas in town, especially our Old Town. We had some issues with the Old Town Plaza project and not being able to install EV chargers, but we expect that at some point in the future that will be rectified and we'll be able to add chargers in those locations. So as I mentioned before, we did a nice short little guide for the building community to help clarify the new requirements and references the different appropriate green building code or our municipal code for further information on those. So, summary of changes, I won't go through this, but these are all of the amendments and updates we are asking for this evening. Adoption of the 2019 CAP was based on the General Plan Environmental Impact Report. These provisions tonight are more extensive than what was considered previously, so they're more environmentally friendly, providing more greenhouse gas reduction potential with these, and so therefore we are recommending no further environmental review be required pursuant to state CEQA guidelines 15162. So staff is recommending State Council adopt a resolution amending the CAP and adopt an ordinance amending the Elk Grove Municipal Code for these changes. Finally, before I leave you for that action, staff is also seeking council direction regarding standards for building electrification. The 2019 CAP included Measure BE5 and Measure BE6 related to electrification. Current city requirements related to electrification is that a minimum of 10% of all new residential development using the CAP CEQA streamlining benefit must be all electric. Staff is looking for direction on potentially expanding this program, given recent state and regional developments. Some of these developments include a strong move at the state level to encourage all electric buildings and that actually make mixed fuel buildings more expensive. The 2022 building code requires all new residential buildings, single family, multifamily, that are not built as all electric are required to be electric ready. So that standard means that anywhere natural gas or propane gas is installed in the home, electric circuits are also installed for space heating, water heating, cooking ovens, clothes dryers, along with panels to easily convert from gas to electric. In addition to that, the California Public Utilities Commission voted to end natural gas subsidies for new installations as of July 1st, 2023. So these two items, the end of the subsidies and the requirements for electric ready, make the cost of building mixed fuel homes higher than the cost of all electric homes. Regionally, the city of Sacramento adopted a new building electrification ordinance at the end of November. The county of Sacramento's draft climate action plan also has measures requiring all electric building, similar to what the city of Sacramento has adopted. I also was going to just quickly highlight a few additional benefits of all-electric building. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, of course, is one of the key benefits. The building sector for Elk Grove accounts for about 39% of our greenhouse gas emissions. That's according to our last GHG inventory. With the move of SMUD towards being carbon-free energy generation by 2030, moving our built environment towards all electric will really help reduce those emissions. In addition, gas appliances significantly impact indoor air quality and emit a range of air pollutants even when they're not in use. And so recent studies have shown the significant increased risk of asthma in children who live in homes with gas stoves compared to electric cooking. So with these considerations, staff is seeking council direction to explore expanding the cap provision for electrification. Should council so direct, staff would meet with partner agencies, development interests, commercial tenants, residents, and others to craft a proposed program for future council consideration. And with that, I am available for any questions.
All right, thank you. At this time, I will declare that the public hearing is now open and open up the public comment opportunity. I do not see anyone signed up here in chambers. Councilmember Spies, Vice Mayor Spies, sorry.
There is no one signed up to speak here.
All right, I'll close the public comment opportunity and declare the public hearing is now closed. Any questions or comments for staff? Yes, Councilmember Suen.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple questions. Carrie, thank you for this presentation. Couple things. One, the guidelines for electrical vehicles, that's mandated by the state. You're moving forward with that to make our codes consistent. But for the building, maybe I missed it. Is there a date of implementation from a state perspective on the building electrification?
So the requirements to be electric ready go into place with the building code. So January 1st, 2023, any natural gas installed will also need to be electric ready.
Okay, electric ready, but anything else beyond that is
Right.
that's still open-ended?
Yes, if
Okay.
we wanted to do anything else beyond that, that would be on us, and we would need to, look at that and what kind of timeline would we want to propose with that.
Okay, and then from a process perspective, I see, a couple of motions here. Would you like us to consider the codes first and then provide direction for the building electrification, or is there?
The city clerk is nodding, so I'm going to go with yes. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay, then, and I have some comments on that part of it. I'll reserve those for later.
Okay.
For my colleagues.
Very good. Any other, I'll go to Councilmember Brewer. Any comments or questions?
No, I want to thank Carrie for presenting this report, because I know a lot of this is consistent with where the state is heading on electrification, especially in terms of the REACH codes. A lot of this stuff is being decided and being finalized at the Energy Commission. But at the same time, we also want to be mindful of how we go about the process, because the very real question is the state really on track for meeting its 2030 goals? That should be the first thing on our minds. And second, as we do this, we want to make sure we're talking to all of our stakeholder groups, so we're doing what we can as what's best for Elk Grove, because SMUD being a municipal utility, they have their own governing body. They make their own decisions, free and independent from the PUC. They're not a controlled IOU, and so we want to do everything we can to be thoughtful in that process. But thank you for giving us this information, providing this report.
Councilmember Robles?
No questions at this time. Thank you, Carrie. It's almost as if I got the same briefing just a couple weeks ago, so appreciate it.
Probably did. Vice Mayor Spies, any questions or comments?
Well, so I'm in support of the amendments, but I don't mean to be obtuse, but let me ask about these about this electric ready. So what we're saying for residential is not that gas will immediately be stopped in installation, but that the buildings must be electric ready. I'm just trying to understand if there's a certain date where they're saying there will be no gas.
So the 2022 California State Building Code as of January 1st, 2023, is that just electric ready. So developers can still decide to put in gas lines for cooking, for heating, for any of those items. If they do decide to put in gas, they need to make sure that all of the electrical work is there so that a homeowner can easily switch out their gas for electric. So it's just that electric ready requirement and that state guidelines starting January 1st, 2023. So we just wanted direction on, is the city interested in exploring doing anything further than what the state is requiring?
Okay. Well, I'd be interested in exploring what we need to do to get compliant with the state. I'm not interested in going further than the state. Let me put it that way. But that's a very interesting move. It'll be interesting to see what all of the stakeholders in the building industry would be would think of this. So I'm happy to have that conversation.
Yeah, I agree with Vice Mayor Spies. A phased-in approach is something that I would be in favor of. Having goals are great, it's a target, but how do we, practically get to those phases? So that's really important. So that stakeholder input is going to be critical. I see, Councilmember Suni, you had a follow-up question?
When you're done, Mayor.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, yeah, so I started off, I thought we were going to do the two motions first, but I think we're delving into this part, which is, I'm fine with that as well. So I'll just weigh in too. I agree. I think any good policy requires input from all the communities of interest that's affected by it. So I think what was mentioned earlier, getting people at the table to talk about how this can work for everyone, it's something that I think we must do in terms of what we know about climate change and greenhouse gas emissions. And so we just need to have the parties that are all affected at the table when we do it. And then I'd also like to seek at least a temporary exemption for our restaurants that are struggling still and will have the greatest challenge in transferring over at this time. And they make up a small portion relative to the overall population.
Use.
Yeah, and as well as there's a lot of cultural cooking from Indian perspective and Asian dealing with walks.
I know that the Restaurant Association is also very involved in on this issue.
Yeah.
So, but that stakeholder, as to your point, we do want to have those discussions, but I think it's the prudent thing to start having those conversations and bring the parties together and come up and develop a plan that's practical in terms of its implementation. And I'm always in favor of a phased-in approach than just, hitting a switch and saying, okay, it's time, because it impacts a lot of communities of color particularly, low-income families. So we just want to be very thoughtful in our approach as we phase that in.
Yep.
So in terms of seeking direction, I think there's consensus here to have those conversations and start some of that work. So now we'll go back. So you have the direction, City Clerk. Is that good on that part?
Indeed, I think we have that element, and then we just do have the two actionable
motions.
items.
So at this time, I will look for motion one.
I'll move motion one, staff's recommendation to adopt the resolution.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from the Vice Mayor. Roll call, please.
And the roll call vote for the resolution of item 8.1, I will start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
Resolution of item 8.1 will pass 5-0.
And then motion two, introduce and waive the full reading by substitution of title only, an ordinance amending portions of the Elk Grove Municipal Code, Title 16, Building and Construction, and Title 23, Zoning, related to electrical vehicle charging for consistency with the City of Elk Grove's Climate Action Plan.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
And the roll call vote for the ordinance of item 8.1, starting with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The ordinance of item 8.1 will pass 5-0.
All right, very good. We will move on to item 8.2. Welcome, Renee Ottar.
And I have the condensed title for this one. It's actually 5 public hearings under
So I was
item
leaving it for you.
8.2. 65th annexation to Community Facilities District number 2003-2 Police Services. The 86th annexation to Community Facilities District 2006-1 for Maintenance Services. The 47th annexation to Street Maintenance District number 1 Zone 3-AJ. The 26th annexation to Street Maintenance District number 1 Zone 5W. And the 58th annexation to Stormwater Drainage Fee Zone 2 that Ms. Attar will detail. All yours.
Can everyone see this? Is it sharing?
Indeed, and it looks like you are sharing out to Nuevo Vallarta. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I'm Renee Attar, Finance Analyst for the city. I'm here this evening with a presentation for proposed annexations into the city special tax districts. And welcome new council members. This will become very familiar going forward. The city maintains 8 special tax districts which provide funding for infrastructure for services such as police, maintenance, street lighting, and stormwater drainage. Annexations into the appropriate districts are typically part of a new development project's approval process. The requirements are specific for each project and vary according to the geographic location and building use. The special taxes are subject to annual rate adjustments. On October 26, 2022, the City Council adopted resolutions of intent to annex the parcels for the Railroad Courtyards, Pleasant Grove Estates, 10221 and 10265 Sheldon Road parcel map, and the Mesa at Laguna Ridge Phase 2 projects into special tax districts, and to establish tonight's public hearings. The projects are being proposed for annexation into the following various special tax district: CFD 2003-2 for public safety services, CFD 2006-1 for maintenance services, Street Maintenance District number 1, Zones 3 and 5 for local collector and arterial street maintenance, and Stormwater Drainage Fee Zone 2 for stormwater drainage and runoff maintenance. All of these assessments will be levied in perpetuity. So what are these projects? The first project is Railroad Courtyards, which consists of 34 multi-family units located in Old Town, southeast of Elk Grove Boulevard and Elk Grove Florin Road. The second project is Pleasant Grove Estates, which consists of 14 single-family units located northeast of Bond and Bradshaw Roads. The third project is the 10221 and 10265 Sheldon Road parcel map, which consists of 2 single-family units located northeast of Sheldon and Bradshaw Roads. And then the fourth and last project is Mesa at Laguna Ridge Phase 2, which consists of about a quarter of a multifamily acre located northeast of Bilby and Bruceville Roads. This parcel and project is part of the larger Mesa at Laguna Ridge project. This smaller parcel was just acquired earlier this year. This project was annexed into Laguna Ridge CFD 2005-1 on October 26th. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you for that. At this time, I will declare the public hearing for CFD 2003-2 Annex 65 open and open up the public comment opportunity. I do not see anyone signed up to speak here. Vice Mayor Spies?
No one signed up here.
All right, I'll declare that the public hearing is now closed and look for a motion 1.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
And the roll call vote for motion A-1 will start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
Resolution of A1 will pass 5-0.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to request the results of the ballot tabulation.
Of 51 possible votes, 51 affirmative votes were cast, authorizing the city of Elk Grove to levy a special tax at the rate apportioned and described. The measure passes with more than 2/3 of all votes cast in the election in favor of the measure. A resolution declaring the results of the election is available for council consideration.
Thank you. Motion A2, please.
Motion A2.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
And the roll call vote for the resolution of A2 will start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer. Aye. Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution of A2 will pass 5-0.
Motion A3, introduce and waive the full reading by substitution of title only, an ordinance levying and apportioning special tax in the 65th annexation to Community Facilities District Number 2003-2 Police Services and amending Elk Grove Municipal Code, Section 3.18.010.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Call vote for the ordinance of motion A-3. We'll start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The ordinance of motion A3 will pass 5-0. Just 4 more public hearings to go.
All right. At this time, I will declare the public hearing for CFD 2006-1 Annex 86 open and open up the public comment opportunity. I do not
No one
see.
here.
No one here and no one here. So I'll close the public comment opportunity and declare that the hearing is now closed and look for a motion 1.
So moved.
Second.
With the motion and the second on the resolution of B1, the roll call vote will commence with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution of motion B1 will pass 5-0.
Thank you. And I'd like to request the results of the ballot tabulation, please.
Of 50 possible votes, 50 affirmative votes were cast, authorizing the city of Elk Grove to levy a special tax at the rate apportioned and described. The measure passes with more than 2/3 of all votes cast in the election in favor of the measure. A resolution declaring the results of the election is available for council consideration.
Thank you. And now we are on to motion B2.
So moved.
Second.
And with the roll call vote for B2, the resolution of B2, I will be starting with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution of motion B2 will pass 5-0.
Motion B3, introduce and waive the full reading by substitution of title only, an ordinance levying and apportioning a special tax and territory annexed to Community Facilities District Number 2006-1 Maintenance Services, annexation number 86, and amending Elk Grove Municipal Code, Section 3.19.010.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
With the motion and the second for the ordinance of motion B3, the roll call will start with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The ordinance of B3 will pass 5-0.
All right, moving right along. Our third public hearing, I will declare the public hearing for SMD 3-AJ Annex 47 open and open up the public comment opportunity. No one signed up here.
None here.
All right, I'll close the public comment opportunity and declare the public hearing is now closed and request our clerk to provide the results of the ballot tabulation.
There is no majority protest of 50 possible votes weighted according to the proportional financial obligation for the properties. 49 affirmative votes were returned. The ballots approved the proposed assessment and the proposed inflation adjustment limit described for the parcels identified in the ballots. A resolution determining the levy assessments in the district is available for council consideration.
All right, motion C.
So moved.
Second.
With the motion and the second for the resolution of C, the roll call will go to Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution of motion C will pass 5-0.
All right, very good. We are on to our fourth public hearing. I will declare the public hearing for SMD 5-W Annex 26 now open and open up the public comment opportunity. No one has signed up to speak here.
No one here.
I'll close the public comment opportunity and declare the public hearing is now closed and look for the results of the ballot tabulation from our clerk.
There is no majority protest of 1 possible vote weighted according to the proportional financial obligation for the property. 1 affirmative vote was returned. The ballot approves the proposed assessment and the proposed inflation adjustment limit described for the parcel identified in the ballot. A resolution determining the levy assessments in the district is available for council consideration.
Motion D.
Can we get a second?
Second.
With the motion and the second for the resolution of motion D, the roll call vote will commence with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen. Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution of motion D passes 5-0.
All right, very good. Next is our fifth public hearing, SWDF Zone 2 Annex 58. I will declare the public hearing is now open and open up the public comment opportunity. Nobody is signed up to speak here.
No one here.
I'll close the public comment opportunity, declare the public hearing is now closed, and ask the clerk to provide the results of the ballot tabulation.
And there is no majority protest. Of 50 possible votes weighted according to the proportional financial obligation for each property, 50 affirmative votes were returned. The ballots approved the proposed assessments and the proposed inflation adjustment limits described for the parcels identified in the ballots. A resolution determining the levy assessments in the district is available for council consideration.
Motion E.
Second.
And with the motion and the second for the resolution and motion E, I will start the roll call vote with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
The resolution of motion E will pass 5-0.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is our regular agenda action items. 9.1, review list of local appointments, consider appointment of one voting member to the Diversity and Inclusion Commission, authorize recruitment to fill one voting member vacancy on the Planning Commission, and provide direction regarding appointments to the city commissions and committees.
Thank you for giving the staff report there, Mayor. I am Jason Lindgren, your city clerk. This is an item, I don't have a formal presentation. For any of our members in the audience that are here for the appointment for the Diversity and Inclusion Commission, this would be the item that you would want to sign up for if you do wish to address the council this evening. The actions under item 9.1, the first part of this is just the review of the local appointments list, which is a requirement under state law, that we just see where all the appointments sit for all. These are the appointments that the council makes of residents to city commissions and committees. The second part of this evening is going to be talking about one vacancy that occurred back on October 26th that was authorized for recruitment, and that's one member vacancy to the Diversity and Inclusion Commission. With Councilmember Robles stepping up into the council seat, he left a vacancy with the Planning Commission. So as your city clerk, I'm asking for authorization to open that recruitment for the Planning Commission. The target date for that appointment would be January 11th in 2023. And the last part of this is that traditionally what we've done every 2-year cycle after we see the election for the mayor is direction's been provided by the city council to reach out to all of our current appointees to city commissions and committees. And what the reach out is to ask if the individuals that serve in those capacities are ready to continue to serve in such capacities as the year comes up. It's a time of reflection, time for folks to look at their schedules. And sometimes what we find when we reach out is that there are folks that say they are stepping down from their seats. If the council would like to continue in that fashion, I can do that outreach with direction from the city council in order to reach out to all of our current city commission and committee members and see what their desire to continue to serve for another 2 years as we look ahead into the future. If there were any that responded that they were stepping down from their from service, what I would be asking as well tonight is authorization to open up recruitments wherever those vacancies might occur. Depending on when I hear back from folks, those may not come back on January 11th. It might get pushed to our second meeting in January. Just kind of depends on the timing, if that is the direction of the council to reach out to current members. But with that, I think probably the primary item is probably discussing the appointment to the Diversity and Inclusion Commission. And I'll just be looking to button up the direction that the council provides for following up with our current standing committee and commission members.
Thank you. I know that I believe there are a few members here who have applied. Now would be the time, if you wish to speak, to fill out a blue card. And then I would love to hear from whoever is here for that. So why don't, as they're ready to fill those out, we'll move on to the other items really quickly. And I certainly would like to authorize recruitment to fill the voting member vacancy for the Planning Commission.
Second.
We're good with that?
Good.
Yep, we just need to.
Directional work
it's
for those.
directional.
Yeah, they're kind of procedural items, and just verifying that the
Thumbs up
proposals
from-
under the staff report is
Thumbs,
desired.
a very scary thumbs up. I don't know,
That's a big.
It looks swollen, but it looks kind of gross. Anyways. And then also, yeah, if we can just confer with our existing commissioners to see if they wish to continue service. And then we'll open up vacancies if anybody decides not to continue service. So I'm good with our
Yeah.
practice for just conferring and having them reaffirm their interest. All right, we see a nod here.
Continue to have a thumbs up from,
And a thumbs
from
up
the Vice Mayor
online.
on that front.
All right, so now we will go to 9.1, and I will open up the public comment opportunity. And I see one card submitted. I'm just waiting for the
I
queue.
think we can also verify from the Vice Mayor whether there's anyone that wishes to speak on the item from his location.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. There is no one signed up to speak here.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. So
I think the cards are coming in, so we'll just start getting them processed, but I think the first one's through the gates, so.
it says Kara Tarango. I'm assuming that's Reina.
I think it's Reina.
All right, Reina, you please come up to the dais, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and esteemed council members. My name is Reina Tarango, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to voice my interest to serve Elk Grove on the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and why my appointment would fulfill much-needed representation to 2 often overlooked communities, the Indigenous and Latino community. A little about myself: I grew up attending Elk Grove Unified School District from K through 12 and have lived between Elk Grove and South Sacramento all my life. I am the daughter of Mexican immigrants and am a first-generation Mexican-American of indigenous descent from tribes that inhabited both sides of the border. I have worked in healthcare for the last 14 years, and I currently work for Wilton Rancheria's Tribal Health Department as a manager, health advocate, and am familiar with traditional plant medicine's healing practices, and am also a traditional dancer. I have spent most of my adolescent and adult years immersed in social justice causes, from immigration to BLM, MMIWP, and several other causes in between. I have volunteered my time and worked with youth organizations that work with Native empowerment, and I am currently the first partner of Wilton Rancheria, as I am married to the current elected chair, Jesus Tarango. Growing up in the Elk Grove Unified School District, I often found myself as a youth without any representation. And when our schools would participate with Elk Grove events, I didn't see anything that represented the diverse community that Elk Grove was. Instead, I witnessed a push of forced assimilation and a lack of interest to connect with those of us deemed different. And now, as my children attend Elk Grove Unified School Districts and are growing up in this city, it is that much more necessary to ensure that they, as well as all children, feel that they are represented in this community. It is important for me to respectfully point out that my children are not just Elk Grove community members. They are Miwok children, and as such, their history and ancestry predates all our backgrounds here, including that of this city. And even though their ancestral ties lay here, this land oftentimes ignores them, and they are rarely represented. Today, Elk Grove is moving in the direction of embracing its beautiful, diverse community, and that makes me proud. It is more welcoming and a place full of inclusion that it once lacked. But that inclusion and representation cannot be complete without someone who has the understanding of those communities I represent. I will work hard to represent not only myself and the 2 communities I am a part of, but I will also work to represent all of Elk Grove in a manner that promotes unity by exalting our diversity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tarango. Next up is Carolyn Tran, followed by Lisa Frydenlund. And my apologies if I butchered your last name. Oh. Okay, well, let's go to Lisa, and perhaps Carolyn will return.
Hello, all. So I want to just say this is my first experience doing anything like this, so I apologize. I have no formality, but I just want to say it's been a wonderful experience, so thank you. I put my name in the hat for this because I have now hit a point in my life that I now can commit and want to commit to something different, in the sense of I did the mom thing, I did the career thing. My son turned 25 today. I'm a proud mother, and I've been a single mother because I lost my husband and his father when he was 8. That's been 16 years ago, and never thought that was going to be who I was meant to be. I raised him, and I'm proud of who he is, and we had many, many struggles. And I share this with you from my personal experience because I didn't expect to know what it was like to be in those places, and it's given me the strength and understanding and compassion to see it in others. I have been an HR human resources professional for 26 years now. I have spent most of my time in the Bay Area. I moved here 3.5 years ago, wanting to dive in and become a part of this amazing community, and then COVID hit. So I kind of was like, okay. What I did get to do, though, during the time that I've been here is participate as the director of HR diversity and inclusion at the Crocker Museum, where I led an amazing effort to move that organization forward along with that community and trying to see what does that mean, what does inclusion mean, and access, because every human deserves that. I am now working with the ACC Senior Services out in the Greenhaven Pocket area as the HR manager, supporting an amazing group of humans who support the senior population. And I just want to continue to grow and be a part of this community and commit to supporting all those that are a part of it. Again, my life experiences and my professional experiences have granted me the ability to not necessarily walk in their shoes, but to at least try and understand and be aware enough to want to be there for them. And that's all. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And how do you say your last name?
It's Frydenlund.
Frydenlund.
So
Okay, I wasn't too off.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Happy birthday to your son.
Thank you. Last call for Carolyn Tran. All right, I will go ahead and close the public comment opportunity at this time. We did have 6 excellent applicants, and unfortunately, only 1 vacant spot. And so what I will say is to everyone that applied, whether I nominate you and whether you're selected or not, you can still be a part of this commission. These meetings are public, and they're always looking for volunteers and other ways of engagement. So just because you're not a voting member, your input is still invaluable. So we encourage all of you to apply if you're tuning in online. So 6 very, very strong applicants. But at this time, I would like to recommend Reina Tarango to fill our vacancy. We've heard such compelling testimony from Mrs. Tarango this evening, and as the Wilton Rancheria, we have great partnership, but we need to do more as a city for our indigenous populations. As someone who served on the school board, representation matters, particularly here on Native lands. And so it would be an honor to see that representation here with the Diversity and Inclusion Commission. So I bring forth Reina Tarango for my council colleagues for consideration.
I would support that, Mayor, and echo your sentiments about all who applied. Very qualified, would all serve the community very well. And, I wish we could select them all, but I agree with your choice.
Any other thoughts? We're good? I see a thumbs up from online here. So congratulations, Ms. Tarango. We are going to be taking a lot of your time over the next few years. And looking forward to your representation and bringing your unique experiences and making sure that our city becomes even a more inclusive city. So thank you for your willingness to serve. And thank you, ma'am, for your interest as well. Like I said, it doesn't end here. Please stay involved. Your input is invaluable. Thank you. All right, with that, we will go on to our next item.
And just before we jump into the next item, I do want to put that out there to any of our applicants. There will be a process where I will be reaching out to all of our current standing committees and commissions to see if individuals have an interest to continue to serve. So please reach out to me if you do want to find out if there are any additional openings. We also post them up on our city website. So there may be opportunities. We'll see how that progresses here into the future. But with that, that'll take us on to item 9.2, which is to receive information and consider a resolution appointing and confirming city council appointments to regional boards, commissions, committees, and local and city standing committees, and including consideration for the creation of appointment of members to an ad hoc committee related to the zoo project. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members, I'm Jason Lindgren, your city clerk, and this is an item that we often also see annually as we look at the regional representation on boards with the reorganization of the city council. We have various openings, both for director or the direct board member positions and also alternate positions on various regional boards, but then we also have some openings on our ad hocs and standing committees, and those are detailed in the staff report for all the openings. We are going to go through a little bit of a process to find out if folks still have, just as I will be checking in with folks with the desire to continue to serve going on into the year. Council may have some changes that they may wish to express if they have any scheduling conflicts, being able to make it to regional boards or other service. And so we'll be kind of going through the list and deciding, but one of the items that's on there is a request from staff for the consideration to create an ad hoc that is related to the zoo project. So that'd be the creation of the ad hoc, but then also appointment of members onto that body. But with that, you kind of have a listing in various formats of the opportunities to serve. And I'll turn that over to the council to deliberate and suss out where folks can serve on these various boards.
All right, very good. I'm going to start with myself on a couple, one or two that I'm willing to put back out there for others for consideration if they're interested. And I'll ask my other current I guess the more seasoned colleagues that have been here, if there are any commissions that you no longer either want to serve on, so that we can have a true listing of maybe what's up for consideration. So the Library Authority, the 330, I would like to ask if our council member Brewer would be interested in serving on that, because our new library will be in your district, so I think that that would be a good fit. And that 3:30, which is typically the meetings, is a very challenging time for myself to attend. But I know that you're downtown already, so it will be easier for you to just hop on over. So would that be something you would be interested in?
Yes. Yes, and the days that the meetings take place on.
There will be, there's a calendar. Kevin, do you happen to know offhand?
It's Thursday, so there's one tomorrow. So
I'll go to tomorrow's just to close it out.
It's typically Thursdays at 3:30.
Thursdays at 3:30, I can do that.
Okay, and your other is our vice mayor. He also serves on that. Okay, so that one I've put out there. That was something that wasn't necessarily open, but I'm no longer going to be on that one. So that takes care of the Library Authority. And the other one, if someone's really passionate about on serving, I'm willing to see if somebody else might be interested. And that is the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Management District Board. If there's somebody who's truly passionate, I'm okay to not do it, but otherwise I'm comfortable staying there.
When is that, Mayor?
That is on Tuesdays, but I don't have that calendar in front of me.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy to be your alternate.
Okay, so we are looking for an alternate, so I'll just stay on there for continuity. But if there's nobody here that's passionate, I'm willing to, look at that. So maybe,
my schedule had the Metro Air at 9 a.m.
They're at 9.
On the fourth Thursdays.
Fourth Thursdays.
Oh, Thursdays.
These do bounce around occasionally, depending on how often they meet. But it's an AM up at the.
They're almost all 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you good with that as an alternate?
I'm good as an alternate, yeah.
And anybody else passionate about that, or we're going to leave it for myself there? I'll just stay on, and then the alternate council member soon. And the other one, if someone's really passionate about, I'm willing to consider others that, if you're interested, and that is on regional SAN. Otherwise, I'll just stay on there. Is if that's somebody that's, you know, if you're very passionate about sewer and regional SAN, there's 2 of those and they often meet at the same time.
What day do those meet?
City clerk, do you have that?
Those are
That was
usually council
today.
days, but in the morning.
Wednesdays. In
And
the
one
morning.
element, actually, and sorry, I did forget to mention this, I do believe that the Sacramento Area Sewer District and Regional SAN, they're looking at actually condensing those
Merging.
agencies into one.
Yes.
And so what might help is if we did have parity is in terms of, I know that there's 2 seats on Regional SAN, but a little bit of overlap as far as having a similar representative and alternate from the Sacramento Area Sewer District. I think that would be beneficial. It is a process they're going to be going through
Yeah.
into the future, so it hasn't happened yet, but
We're
we can
looking to merge
anticipate
it
that it will.
essentially.
Okay.
I am willing to stay on there, so is there somebody else, we're looking for another director to fill basically both of those?
I'm interested in that one, actually.
Anyone else interested? Anyone online? Any here? Okay, so are we good to appoint Councilmember Suen to that? And that's our SASD and SRCSD. So those are taken care of. The one that I would like to be on here is SAC-RT. So we're looking for a director and an alternate, so I would like to be on that one.
I think you'd be great for that. I'd like to be
Working
your
on
alternate
transportation.
if that would be okay.
You want to be an alternate, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've done that one. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning. I got a little ahead of myself here. Anyone passionate about the JPA director? I believe there's a couple of people that were interested in that, if I'm not, I don't know.
Are you talking about for the Sacramento Capital Southeast Connector?
Yes,
Yes, I would be very interested in doing so.
Any other interests?
I can be the alternate for that.
Do we have,
Do we?
we must already have an alternate.
There currently is an alternate with Suen, but if that's.
I don't need to be an alternate. I could.
You want to
step
do that
down from
one? Okay, so it will be, the director will be our vice mayor and the alternate will be Councilmember Robles.
Mayor, and I think I'm an alternate on library, so I'm happy to step down off of that one as an alternate as well,
Or stay.
Well, I guess.
Or does some,
would Councilmember
would
Brewer,
you, would you like to do it?
Because I'd like to do the library.
Yeah, the library, I'm giving you my
you
spot
are in the
there.
library, but
Yeah.
would
So-
you like to do library alternate?
Yeah, we can do that.
Councilmember Robles?
Okay, so we have an alternate there, Mr. Lindgren. So now the Central Valley Express Advisory Committee, we're looking for a director and an alternate.
I'd be interested in that one.
Okay, so Councilmember Brewer is interested in being the director. We need an alternate.
I'd like to be an alternate since that's in my district, the station.
Okay, does that work?
Thank you.
Yep. All right, so that one is done. Sacramento Tree Foundation. This is the fun one that we get to ask the newbies to be part of.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
right.
I'm actually excited about the
No,
Sac Tree
absolutely,
Foundation, so I'll do it.
absolutely. So Councilmember Robles, director, and we need an alternate.
I'd love to be the alternate.
Very good.
Please be ready to plant some trees, okay?
Yes.
Let us know, we'll be there.
For SACOG, I'd like to be the alternate. We do a lot of overlapping work with STA and others, so if everyone's good with that? Okay, moving right along. The Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission, we need an alternate.
I'd love to be the alternate for that.
All right? And if you're passionate about something, make sure you're speaking up so that, I know. All right, so that one's taken care of. The Senior Center of Elk Grove Board, we're looking for an alternate.
I'll be the alternate on that.
Okay, who's the director on that one?
I think it's city manager.
It's the staff position that's designated by the city manager, so I believe Sarah Bontrager is currently serving in that capacity.
Got it. Okay, the Elk Grove Affordable Housing Committee, we have one vacancy there.
I would like to be on that.
Okay, Councilmember Robles. The Audit Committee, one vacancy there. Who's
I'd like to do
interested?
that.
Okay, Councilmember Brewer, we good with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so now we have, this was vacated by both council members Hume and Nguyen. So this is the Homelessness Strategies Ad Hoc Committee. The work has only started. They really only worked on one issue, and that was the ordinance. But there's still a lot of other issues as it relates to homelessness, so that this is an important ad hoc committee. Are there two that are very passionate about being on this?
I would like to be on that.
Okay, Councilmember Suen?
I would as well, please.
Okay, and Vice Mayor Spies, I gotta get that in my head to say that. Vice Mayor, for a year, I've said it otherwise. For Project Elevate Ad Hoc Committee, so I will recommend, because this is in Councilmember Robles's district, that you should at least be one of them.
Yep.
And then I believe you had an interest.
I do, thank you, yeah.
Okay. On the Zoo Committee, I certainly am very interested on being on that one. And since the Zoo project is in Councilmember Brewer's district, my recommendation would be for you to be on that? Yes?
Of course, definitely.
Okay. Does that take care of all of them?
There's one that I'd like to.
I
Yes.
don't think you mentioned Sacramento Transportation Authority, but I would be willing to stay on with that. And I think, oh, you did mention
Yeah.
Public Library. I'd be willing to stay with that.
Yeah.
And then Cable Television Commission, I'd be willing to stay with that. So.
Yeah, and I'm staying on my current ones, other than the ones I think that we already discussed with Library Authority. So if they weren't here as vacancies unless we offered up that seat. So does that fulfill all of the seats?
I think the only question I had is, I believe for the regional SAN, the action, I think, moved Councilmember Suen up to being one of the voting members. And so that actually leaves an alternate position on regional SAN.
Okay, so you do,
And if
okay.
we were to, well, that would be kind of interesting. You're the alternate on the sewer district, Mayor, so that works as well, too.
So are we
But if
good?
someone wants to serve in an alternate capacity for regional sanitation
I can
board-
be an alternate, just for continuity.
So what that then does is opens up a director position on regional SAN.
Of course.
If we move you back. to
Anybody
that.
want that? Those are going to be combined, but I would suggest staying there, or,
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, I'll stay
you
there,
want.
but we're gonna need two directors either way, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
can
what
do
we
that.
have is
yes.
director.
Would you like to do that? All right, Councilmember Robles. And I trust our city clerk has been taking those notes, and you'll send us a list?
Yeah, we do. We have the full list, and we'll make sure
Remember,
that you're all.
this is serious time. And the good thing is, it's once a month, and the meetings are typically about an hour. But time management is key.
And just for the council, what it'll also entail is also filing of 700s with regional boards. So
Yes.
we'll work to coordinate with those board clerks about making sure that all the correct filings are occurring. And some of them might be calling you very soon, depending if they're trying to reach any kind of quorum. Sometimes it's an interesting part of the year. Typically, a lot of these boards, though, they won't be starting up until January. So.
And our city clerk does a great job. If you give him the original copies, he does a great job of forwarding everything to the other agencies.
Okay.
We have lots of options. So.
Yes, and that one's the efficient one. Thank you. All right, I think we're good on all of that, correct?
Correct. You've created the zoo ad hoc committee, reviewed all the lists, and we have a spot for each one of these. So
Okay.
we're
So-
good for item 9.2.
Very good. Item 10, and this is just council comment.
Thank you,
Pardon?
Mr. Hobbs. I am going to ask if you could take the motion, which is actually to confirm the
Oh.
appointments that we've made. There are a few of our regional boards that do require the council to make the full appointments. So when we send around this whole list, it makes it easiest, kind of one clean cut in order to send it out to our regional boards that require action by the council.
So the motion is basically all of the assignments as discussed.
Confirming the regional board
Yes.
appointments as discussed.
So moved.
All right. Yeah, we don't need to say all of them. So we have a motion.
Second.
And with the
And roll
motion
call.
and the second, we will move to the roll call vote to confirm all the appointments to regional boards. I will start that roll call vote with Councilmember Robles.
Aye.
Councilmember Brewer.
Aye.
Councilmember Suen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Spies.
Aye.
And Mayor Singh Allen.
Aye.
Those appointments and the resolution of item 9.2 will pass 5-0.
All right, very good. Next is our council comments, reports, future agenda items. This is where, and next meetings, the meetings that you do have on the various boards, you can report them out. Or if there's something pressing, these are the opportunities to bring up either future agenda items or any other policy considerations. I'll start here. Anything to report?
Nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Vice Mayor Spies?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Nothing to report. Happy holidays, everyone. See you in the new year.
Councilmember Brewer?
I want to wish everyone a happy holidays, and if you have a chance, please come to Sheldon High School this Saturday for Annie. Their 1 o'clock showing and a 5 o'clock showing where you'll see both Vice Mayor Spies and myself in some fun roles. So please come out and definitely see this cherished movie and classic.
I refuse to shave my hair, though. It's not happening.
Councilmember Robles?
We'll definitely have to stop by to see this. But just want to say happy holidays, everyone, and stay safe.
All right, I have nothing to report. Once again, congratulations. We have a great team. Looking forward to doing great work together. I do want to adjourn tonight's meeting at 8:53 in the memory of Ms. Sharon Anderson's father, who passed away yesterday.
I'm sorry.
And she still showed up here for all of us because that is who she is. She is all about our community and pure heart and love. We send you our utmost condolences. And just be proud. Your dad, I'm sure, is looking at you as so proud of who you are. But thank you, and we sincerely extend our apologies and condolences for your tremendous loss. May his memory be a blessing to you and your family. Thank you. So we will adjourn this meeting at 8:53. And we are convening our special meeting of the City Council. Today is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. It is 8:54.